So, dear friends, very happy to be here on the occasion when this center of propagation of spiritual wisdom in Calgary is completing 50 years. I couldn't come last year, but then somehow, in spite of some problems with the flight, managed to be here on time. And I know Anirban and Abhijit, they had a lot of hard time last night because they were keeping track of the flight and coming to receive me at a very odd hour, in the wee hour of the morning actually. I was to arrive in late evening, or even say at about 7 o'clock I should have been here. But then the flights changed and the change time also got delayed. And so, but as they say that in the end everything will be all right. One of our devotees, he says that in the end everything will be all right, and if it is not all right, it is not the end. So I chose this topic. It is one of the dearest topics for contemplation for me, and also since I had spoken on this multiple times at many places, I thought that I won't need much preparation. But that is not the case actually, because when I started reading, it unravels so much more mystery that I didn't think of earlier. These texts are like that they contain such infinite wisdom that the more you dwell on it, the better you start getting the feel, the understanding of it. Because the meaning of all these great scriptural texts is to experience the divine, which is the source of everything, the source of bliss that we are seeking, source of knowledge that we are seeking. All is contained in that, and therefore actually these words of the scriptures, they represent the awareness of the sages, and their awareness is Brahman, God. So let us begin first saluting Lord Krishna, the giver of this great wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, and then salute the Bhagavad Gita itself, and then proceed with the light of the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother and Vivekananda. Vande Vanshidharam Krishnam Smayamanamukambujam Pitambaradharam Neelam Malyachandanabhushitam Radha Chitta Chakurendu Saundarya Sumahodadhim Parat Parataram Devam Brahma प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्. Bhagavad Gita is the most respected scriptures amongst not only Hindus but even the followers of other faiths like Christianity and Judaism. They love Bhagavad Gita because of the universality that approaches that you can see there, and also it touches the core values of humanity, how human beings should live, and practically how one can guide one's life towards the goal. As we all know that human life is always looking for the purpose of living. There are the instinctive lives, and even as human beings we have that animal instinctive life to some extent, but a human being is not at all satisfied with that part. It is okay, we are animals and somewhat evolved and somewhat not evolved in different, with if you see with different parameters. Human beings, they don't live very long. There are many creatures who live longer than human beings. Then human beings have a lot of health issues. Most animals don't have till they become pets, and they get then once you make them pets, then they get all the human maladies as well. Otherwise they are fine. So in some respects the human beings don't have those abilities like a dog has tremendous sense of smell. Human beings don't have that. It is therefore it is said that a police cannot find a criminal, but police dog can find. So because they have that capability, so many birds and other insects, they can fly. Human beings don't fly. But human beings have this capability of trying to understand the nature around, external and internal, see what we need, and then therefore can change the life by knowledge. The knowledge brings power. So, in the process of evolution of species, you will see that human being is a comparatively newer addition, not too old. There are like our common creatures that we see in our house, like cockroaches or mice, mosquitoes. They probably have been here much before, millions of years before human beings had their advent. But if you see that they have been living in the same way as they used to live, there is not much change in their lifestyle. You don't know any other creature, I at least don't know, who cooks food. No, there is nothing. They whatever they find, they just put in the mouth, and whatever cooking happens is inside, and so forth. So that is how. And see, human beings. What a great science, of culinary arts. There are big universities who teach culinary arts. Then garments, I have not seen any creature, other animal putting on artificially made garments. Whatever fur or whatever they come with, that's all. And what a garment industry human beings have. And so much of scientific research. Imagine the life of a caveman. Say about 100,000 years ago, when these Homo sapiens came up, then imagine one of them living in the cave and somehow with primitive tools killing certain other animals, eating, and most of the times getting eaten by those animals. Because human beings don't have that strength. Say a lion or a tiger, well, the human beings cannot match their tremendous power. So, but gradually human beings manufactured things and then got them perfected, and that process is still going on. That how to control the nature and make use of that to enrich one's life. See, I sometimes tell that actually for a long time I have been observing this and telling people that in this hall you won't find a single thing that has come to us from nature as it is. Not a single thing. It is everything that you see. This paper, for example, this manufacturing of this paper, hundreds and hundreds of years of research in chemical engineering and manufacturing tools, mechanical engineering, processing has gone in to make this simple sheet of paper that costs no more than a couple of cents, you see. So it is. So anything you take up, forget these technological modern advancements, but even the common this pen that you use, a ball tip pen, it takes so much of advancement of science and engineering to make that. The ink that goes through it, all that. This is just an example to show how a human being is developing these surroundings, controlling the nature, one's body, and then things around to such an extent. Education. There are no schools for other animals. I mean, for dogs, human beings make schools for dogs and cats and all that. But you don't see any dog making a school for other dogs. That is not possible. It is human beings have this speciality, education. So many universities, schools, college, and that has been going on from ancient times. So We want to know the secrets. The universe, as we see, we are not satisfied with what the information our sense organs bring to us. We want to analyze, develop. It throws more questions to us that why this is happening like this. It is human beings ask this question: why? How? Uh, so, other creatures, they do not get this question at all, as far as we know. That even the big creatures like, say, whale probably never get such a question. That why my body is so big and why the microbe is so small. Human beings get these questions. So they probe, they do research, they do put in lot of efforts to know. So one of the most important features of human life is to know what is the purpose of my living. Living is happening. That we did not put much effort in getting. The life, the body we somehow acquired. Mm. But now, why should I live? What is the purpose behind it? Those questions start bothering human mind right from childhood. If you look back when you were children, say 9, 10 years old, you would remember time when such questions would make round in your heads, in spite of the playfulness around, in spite of the care being given by the parents and others. Uh, you would get this question from time to time that what is this all about? Who am I? I used to get a question that, see, this hand and I, what connection do they have? I would say, this is my hand. Why cannot I say the same thing about that hand? I call that Anirban's hand. What is the difference? It is the same material, but this becomes mine. What makes it mine? What things get connected with the awareness of I? It is very interesting question that many of you might have got in childhood. But as we grow, many other concerns take over, and these questions, they get buried deep somewhere. They remain on back burner, and from back burner they are pushed further somewhere. So, but still, from time to time, a human being thinks, oh, why am I here? What is the purpose for which I am living? And to answer these questions as human beings make effort, another very important aspect of human beings is that we go to experts who know better, who have expounded this and have gotten more knowledge about it, who can answer us, who can remove this problem that we have. We have expertise in various different fields, like some are musicians, so you go to them to have understanding and joy of listening to music. Some are like structural engineer, for example. They know how to construct a building. There are innumerable branches of expertise, and for that particular purpose you go to such an expert. Other creatures don't have this. All the birds, they make their nests but not that one bird goes to another bird. Hey, I want your expertise, I will pay you for that. But this is another human speciality which causes more problems than it solves. That everything has a monetary value here. You count it in terms of money. So, other creatures don't have this problem, money. So they don't have this expertise. And this fundamental questions of life as to who am I? What is this universe about? Who makes them? Why? Why and how is this all done? I want to know the answer for this. And for that also you go to some expert. And they are the sages who dwell deep into it. They got these answers by taking up certain means of knowledge. And these means are very special. Every Swami Vivekananda in his introduction in the Raj Yoga, he tells that every single science has its own instruments of knowledge. If you want to, say for example, study microbiology, what will you use? Microscope, yeah. As while studying astronomy, that will be useless, you say. Isn't it? So it is, astronomy has telescope, microbiology has microscopes. So it is like that, each science has its instruments. What happens is, in due course, since we get used to those instruments, we think that that is the only instrument. And then I am giving an extreme example that therefore a microbiologist thinks that I can study astronomy also using a microscope. So we get attached to the instruments, and all of us use the information that we receive through sense organs, and we get attached to those and think that all knowledge can come by use of these sense organs. But that is not the case, because sense organs, they have their limitations, and while they can help us to unravel the mystery of this external world to some extent, it leaves the fundamental questions of life untouched. It doesn't have any expertise in that, because they are part of it, and therefore they are not capable of knowing the whole. It is in a great text of Marathi saint Jnaneshwar. He is wonderful. His life and teachings were of such great importance and such beauty and power that he gives one beautiful analogy as to why we cannot know the truths of this nature, the fundamental nature, is because just as a drop in the ocean can never know the whole ocean, because it won't see the extent of the whole nation. It is impossible to do that. Similarly, our sense organs have this fundamental defect or limitation, and therefore it will not be able to get these. There are more chairs, isn't it? I saw in the basement lot of chairs there. Yeah. So, oh, there is one chair there in the corner. Yeah. But probably She doesn't want to get cornered, so. Okay. So, our sense organs, their limitations have to be transcended to know this, and therefore one takes recourse to what Vedanta calls the words of the sages, Shruti. You go by, because they have known the truth. Now their knowledge is poured into those words because they have to communicate. So those words now acquire a bit different meaning. And the reason is our normal language is just based on describing the objects that we observe, that we see. So we have words for that. It is recently in Brazil, I was described, this is a big rat that you find here, capavara, something like that, capavara. So it is I said, we don't have that kind of that word there because we don't have the creature. So only if you have that thing, you have the word for it. Now, the knowledge which transcends our sensory knowledge, there are no proper words for that. So we have to use the existing words. But an added significance has to be attached to them. So this is therefore called Shruti, that you hear and then try to see, use those words as like a ladder to reach the awareness of that sage. That is what is to be obtained. The words are, nice words also can be just like, to give an analogy, they are like cups. Now, you don't drink the cup, you drink from the cup that is poured in the cup. So, similarly in the words, something is poured. Our consciousness, our knowledge gets poured into those words. Like Arijit, he will tell his knowledge, and for telling, he will use words. Now, according to the need, if he has to tell to somebody who is, say, speaks Bengali, he will use Bengali words to put that knowledge there. But the same knowledge can be converted into, say, English words or French words or Spanish, Swahili, whatever. So, these are just cups. So from that, you have to get to the essence, what is poured in that cup. So that is how we should look at the words of such scriptures. They have an added meaning than what we are used to when we hear those words. That is why many get a bit confused. Why this? But this means this. No, it doesn't actually here, it doesn't mean like that. You have to go deeper. And therefore, one has to meditate. These truths, therefore, can be learned and not through the mere reading the books or knowing the exact meaning of them, but through meditation. One has to use those words to go beyond the word and get to the meaning of it. So, in Bhagavad Gita also, the beauty of Bhagavad Gita, as you all know, that it condenses the whole essence of the Upanishads, which are in turn the essence of all the Vedas. And then those Vedas, their essence is Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Upanishads. And 15th chapter is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So you can imagine how important this 15th chapter is. And you will find literally hundreds of thousands of people recite it every day, once or twice. At many monastic congregations, just before the meals, they start chanting of this chapter. Urdham shakham asvatham prahuravyayam, etc. So it is because of its importance. It is in Bhagavad Gita, this 15th chapter is called scripture by Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself. Sri Krishna himself towards the end of this 15th chapter says that this is the deep secret that I have told you, this is the deep scripture, Shastram, that this is nowhere else in Bhagavad Gita Lord calls it as Shastra. So this is a very important idea here. It is Shastra, it is scripture. Means that it governs the various aspects of human life, the human search in general. And Bhagavad Gita, as you know, its essence is practicality. Where was Bhagavad Gita preached? Do you know? Bhagavad Gita, where it was told? You know. Have you read Bhagavad Gita any time? Never. So it was
Battleground.
At the battleground. Yeah, when the battle was just about to begin. That's the only scripture you will see that it is being told right when the battle was to begin. Pravritti Shastra Sampate. The weapons were already unsheathed and were about to strike each other. At that hour, this scripture had its birth, Bhagavad Gita. If I ask you what will be the good place to tell scripture, I don't think anybody will say a battleground in the middle of the battle. It is the best time to teach scripture. It is, but it is there that it is necessary, friends. It is if you are asked this question, when the medicine is to be given to a person, when the person is healthy and running about, no, when the fellow is sick, then you need medicine. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
What? When the medicine is to be given?
When they're sick.
When
they're sick.
When you are sick, exactly. So the battleground, our life here is like battleground, we are fighting. Now here we need the wisdom to how to fight this battle of life. There is no in battle as they are already in the process of fighting. The weapons have been unsheathed, as I said. Does anybody have time to now read philosophy there? Obviously, the theoretical philosophy is the last thing that we want there. It is, we want something that will take me out of this terrible problem that I am stuck with. I am having a real problem at hand. And I want to get out of it. That is the beauty, friends, of Bhagavad Gita. It is no other scripture has this kind of a background. Bhagavad Gita alone. Actually, Arjuna's question, first question that Arjuna asked Sri Krishna, has nothing to do with spirituality or God or any philosophical matter. Most practical question was asked. It comes in the second chapter towards, not exactly at the beginning, but just after a few verses, when Krishna actually gives him a big slap across the face. As big a slap as can be given just by words. So it is. And then Arjuna sees that I need advice, I need help, and then says that I am stuck in this mire of confusion and the misery that is the consequence of that. Confusion, what to do, what not to do, and it is all burning inside me. The terrible delusion. He is seeing himself that I am deluded and I am not able to see things clearly. And I am not able to decide at this juncture what should I do now. My mind says that no, I am not going to fight the war, but I am confused. I don't want to go even by that decision, that I don't want to. Otherwise, there is no confusion. Had Arjuna been very much convinced that I wouldn't fight the war, then he wouldn't have asked any further questions. But there was a big doubt, big confusion, big ambiguity as to what is the right thing to do. So he asked the question to Krishna, just please take me out of this. This is the practical question. We all get stuck in this because this world is full of all uncertainties. Nothing is sure. It is that the what we call, it is funny, the names we give are contradictory. That about which nothing is secure, they are called securities. Nothing is secure about them, but they get the name securities. So it is, and that is why we wait how much dividend these securities will bring and so forth. There is a very nice definition of this dividend in Reader's Digest. Long back, about 50 years ago, I had read it, that what is a dividend? It is a certain per centum, per annum, perhaps. So it is. So this is all very uncertain. The life is caught in all uncertainties, and we are therefore. It is all dark before us. What to do? And so we need this advice. Somebody who will take us. Arjuna uses the word literally, this like a mire that I am stuck in, stinking mire that I have got into it. So please help me to get out of it. And there he says to Krishna, Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tva Prapannam. I am your disciple. Till now he was thinking of Krishna just as a friend, very close, cousin and friend. They were almost of the similar age and grew up together from childhood and were very much closely attached to each other. Arjuna could never think of Krishna as God. But when this problem came, now he sees Krishna as his teacher. And I am your disciple, O Krishna, Shishyasteham. And then Krishna starts pouring the advice. Because there should be the eagerness to receive, isn't it? If you think that I know everything, then what can you be taught? The discipleship has to be there. One has to be a disciple to get the knowledge. In our Hindi language, there is a nice saying, Guru mile lakh lakh, chelana mile ek. That the teachers come in millions. But where is the student who is eager to learn? So you have to become disciple to learn this great secret. So if you see, it is a great evolution in the mind of Arjuna. The mind evolves and then it starts feeling the need to think of God. Otherwise, we use the word God every now and then without believing anything. We say that we are believers. What is the difference between believers and non-believers in our regular life? The atheist or non-believers will shake head like this, and the believer will shake head like this. Beyond that, what difference does it make? We don't have any idea about it. There is not much belief. Even those who are believers, they don't have much belief as such. It is therefore a very important thing there that Arjuna's real question started now hovering around this. About the divine essence, about whether knowledge is important or work is important, whether the life devoted to worship is important or the life devoted to, say, our taking cares of the worldly matters is important. Which is more important? Which I should invest my energies in? And he wants always answers in the clearest terms. Don't confuse me. This is also good. This is also, that is confusing. Somebody, one devotee I was talking to, they had a very nice discourse yesterday evening by Swami Yogatmanandaji in New York on the end of the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and the beginning of the 5th chapter. So it is a very interesting question comes there that, oh, you sometimes praise the giving up of the work and renouncing everything and taking up a monastic life. And sometimes you praise the work. So tell me one of these two without any ambiguity. You start praising both and my mind gets confused. So tell me one. Now again Krishna has to tell both these things, and both are good for different people. It is one because personal constitutions, personal temperaments, aptitudes all differ. And so, and again they differ means they differ in time also. A person who was of particular constitution 10 years ago then becomes a different person when something different becomes now applicable to that person. like an infant. Uh, should that infant, if you are asked, should that infant be given hot dogs to eat? No, infant cannot eat. A fellow will die if it is forced. It is because it is not the constitution at that infant. But when that infant grows to be, say, 15, 20 years old, that could be okay, yeah. So it is depending on our psychophysical growth. What is suitable to us keeps on changing. So, therefore, it is a very complex question and cannot be given just the answer in, say, yes or no. In some, you have to fill out all those forms. It is now they say all answers to be, everything is compulsory. You have to write all that. So male or female. Okay, that was man was answering, so it was male. Then the question was, are you pregnant? Now, how can you cannot be answered, it cannot be answered as yes or no. Then again, next question was, how many months? So it is all these, you cannot give these answers to these questions yes or no. It is so you have to understand where these questions become applicable, where. So in Bhagavad Gita, you see Arjuna keeps on asking questions, and Lord Krishna pours the wisdom, and that will solve that. And those are our questions. Arjuna is an excuse. It is told by Shankaracharya, Arjunam Nimitti Kritya, that this Arjuna was made, as an excuse to whom this knowledge is being given, but through Arjuna, everybody, because we all are suffering from the same problem. So, like they have these medications that, okay, if this is the symptom, this fellow has a high blood pressure, so when this medicine was given, was cured. Now another person with similar problem, okay, a similar medicine can be given. So since we all are suffering from the same problem, what worked for Arjuna should work for us. So that is why you may say, well, that was some 5,000 years ago. Now the society has changed, now the problems have changed. During Arjuna's times, there people didn't have to face the problems of, say, modern days. It is all those things. The streets are not good here. Our administration should mend the streets. Probably Arjuna's time those problems were not there. The power failures, the problem, there were no electric installations probably, so no power failure problem, and many problems that our society is besieged with may not be there, but some inner problems which torment us more than external problems, they still remain. Human beings those days had jealousy. Is it not there now? Yeah. It is more. Somebody will say more. Yeah, it is an internal issue. There people used to, those days, suffer due to the loss of near and dear. Do they not suffer now? Yeah. Now also. Earlier they had the problem of how to control the anger. Now, do we not have? Yes, we also have that problem now also. The problem of, desires was there then. And now also that problem is there. So, our conditions, internally speaking, is more or less same or exactly same. In fact, some would say that she was telling, it is more now, the problems have become more intense now. Hmm? Uh, I don't know about it, but it is certainly the problems are there. Whether more intense or not, I don't know what was there. In the earlier times, we were not there. The olden days appear to be better always. That is why there is the saying, oh, old is gold. Actually, those people didn't think like that. They thought that old is better. Because you don't have to deal with it. Now these old times are not good as such. We feel them good because now we don't have to deal with them. So the devil that we don't see must have been much better than the one that we have to deal now with. So this is the answers are therefore very valuable to us, and it will be interesting to see how the questions of Arjuna changed over time. Like right in the third chapter, he asked this question, which is a question that is applicable to everybody. That, oh, I don't want to do anything wrong or bad, but somebody, as it were, makes me do it forcibly. Like my mind gets hijacked, as it were, and even though I don't want to do those things, bad things, and somebody makes me do it. What is that? So this question is, a very spiritual question. And these questions are like that. They are very practical. They are questions about real world. That is what Vedanta is about. Swami Ranganathananda, in his beautiful, the 3-volume treatise, the universal message of Bhagavad Gita, says that Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita, they never promise you any post-mortem heaven. That after you die, and then you will go to heaven and all such things. Here, right here, your life and your consciousness will get transformed and you will be illumined. It is right here, ihaiva. This word comes there many times. Ihaiva tairjitas sargo. It is here itself, and not such promises, okay, that you give some donation here and there, then you will go to heaven after you die. No such tomfoolery, you see. It is meaningless, that no way to verify. There is a nice joke that I had heard, excuse me, that I read it in childhood, that a little, some 4-year-old, she was being, shown love by one of her aunts. Oh, you are so pretty, little girl, I love you. And then she asked, do you love me? The girl said, yes, auntie, I love you too. Really? Yes, really. Will you cry if I die? Will you weep if I die? Yes, auntie, I will weep if you die. Show me how you will weep. And the little one says, die first. How can I otherwise show? So the post-mortem things are like that. Afterwards, then you will go to heaven, and then Anirvan thinks, okay, who knows all that? So it is, maybe, may not be, but here the promise is now you can see it yourself by getting rid of ignorance. You will see this. And then this 15th chapter is really the culmination of this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, practically speaking, ends at 15th chapter. The next chapters, 16, 17, 18, 18th chapter is a summarization of the whole message. And 17th chapter is how our different tendencies, different ways depend on the sattva, rajas, tamas of our shraddha, our faith. And the 16th chapter is about the various godly and devilish tendencies that we have. So they are very good chapters. I don't mean to, please don't misunderstand me, not that they are unimportant, but they are auxiliary things. The important or the most, the proper whole message of Bhagavad Gita, as it were, ends at this 15th chapter. So, and it is concluded also like that. So, now I feel very fortunate for getting this opportunity to discuss this chapter again, because although I am talking before you, it is I am listening to it more intently than anybody. Because many of you will be falling asleep listening to my talk, It is, my talks are like that, people tend to sleep. You can sleep, Anirvan, I know you were awake for a long time. Don't snore. I tell people you have the right to sleep in the class, but don't snore. Because while you are within your rights to sleep, you don't have the right to disturb the sleep of somebody sitting by your side, So, it is. Yeah. So, but I cannot sleep, isn't it, while talking. So I am listening all the time. So it is mainly for my benefit that I am giving this class, and it is secondary that you get the benefit too. So no question of Arjuna here. Arjuna's questions were answered, but now God starts himself. That there is no question that starts. Sometimes in Bhagavad Gita the questions are hidden, not asked. So, but you can see the hidden question there. Here there is no hidden question also. Like in the beginning of the 13th chapter, there is a hidden question. And sometimes in some editions of Bhagavad Gita, that one is added also. The Arjuna asks that question. But in most editions of Bhagavad Gita, it is not there. In Shankara's commentary, it has not been taken cognizance of, and so many think that that question was really not asked. But obviously, many questions without being asked, you sense it. That it is obvious, that the person is asking this. So, but here in the 15th chapter, there is neither explicitly asked question or no implied question either. But to make the Arjuna's understanding wholesome, this now chapter begins. It is a tremendously poetic chapter. Some of this verse, rather the first verse, in a slightly altered form, you see in Kathopanishad also. So this begins with Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. The blessed Lord or Bhagavan says, what is this Bhagavan? Bhagavad Gita actually has this special part that is not explicitly present in Vedas or Upanishads. And that is God assuming a human form to teach humanity. Actually, all our religions are centered on the God assuming a human form. Take Christianity, Judaism, Mohammedanism, Hinduism, there is a prophet, somebody who is embodiment of knowledge, is God. All knowledge proceeds from God. So the God assuming human form. In Christianity, for example, there is the book of John. It says so beautifully, the Word becomes the flesh. That in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. From that, everything that was made, and then that Word became flesh. So, similarly, friends, this is in Hindus, the difference is there that in other religions, the God took human form just once, and that was it. No, Hindus say whenever such a need takes place, this phenomena also happens, that God assumes human form to teach humanity. It is not just once. Why once only? You need an explanation for that, which never comes forth. But when you say it is dependent on circumstances, then it becomes a scientific thing that yes, whenever such a situation happens, this will also happen. So, therefore, Bhagavad Gita expounds this whole idea so beautifully that it is human being but not human being. It is like one little girl, I can't forget that incident, it was so telling that she was about 7, 8 years old, and now, yeah, it is. So, this happened about 20 plus years ago in Providence, and um, she came with her grandmother, and grandmother said that, well, she has a question for you. Said, oh, well, okay, and that girl took me to her chapel, and then asked me, showing the picture of Sri Ramakrishna, is he God or is he man? See, what a beautiful question that 7, 8 years old girl was asking. Now, what to answer? So there were all, that chapel had all wooden chairs. So I asked, is this a chair or is this wood? And that bright girl said, yes, understood. Both. It is both. There is this wood. So it is Brahman having the form, wood having the form of chair. So while functionally it is a chair, it has, that is, its woodness has not gone away, it is still wood. So the godness has not vanished, but has assumed a human form. And so that is the repository of all knowledge. From there the knowledge comes. And you see, all religions, therefore, if you take away God incarnation, there is hardly anything is left. So, this Bhagwan Uvacha, this Bhagwan started speaking. Urdhmulamadashakam Ashwatham Prahuravyayam. So we shall discuss that after a short break, so that you will get an opportunity at least to push away the sleep. Thank you.